Hello, my beautiful friends. So, as you can see, I'm in a different location than usual. I'm laying on my couch right now because I had to go to urgent care this morning. I had an infected cyst that had grown from like a small lump to over the last day and night to something that was like 4 inches long and 2 inches wide. Very large, very painful. And um, and so I had to go get that. Sorry, I'm on pain pills too, so maybe this is kind of funny. So when my mind isn't fully there or like I'm tired, then sometimes I lose the words. So if I'm not quite the usual Katie you're used to in these videos, that's why. But despite all that, I was prompted to make a video. So anyways, yeah, I had to go and get that drained, and I'm gonna have to go back every 2 days to have that procedure done again until it's all better. So just kind of one of those random health things that pop up. So here I am laying on the couch. I was planning to like sleep, but I couldn't sleep, and I don't know if it's just because of the medicine. I don't know, sometimes I kind of react to medicine, and so it like makes it hard for me to sleep, or I don't know. And I think my body's a little bit in shock from the procedure that I had done. But I'm fine. I'm on antibiotics now, so it should clear up, and I'll be back on my feet again. So I really don't know why I was prompted to make a video, and especially in my somewhat weakened state. Like literally, I'm on some oxycodone, because they had to cut me open and stuff. But so that's kind of messing with my mind a little bit, as far as like I don't feel like the words are flowing quite as easily as they normally would, just moving a little bit slower. But here I am, and I found with these promptings, God does give me the choice not to follow them. I believe that when He gives me a prompting, then it's because there is enough strength to fulfill it, but I'm never forced into actually following the prompting. So He respects my free will too, as far as if I'm just like, okay, God, I'm really tired, I don't know. But usually, even if I'm feeling tired, I'm not feeling good, I'm like, if God has something to say, I'm still willing to be that vessel, even if I'm not feeling very good myself. I don't think that this video will be as long as the others because I just don't have the strength in me to have the channel open that long. It does take energy to interact in that way. So I think this will be a fairly short video. But yeah, I am continuing on my way of healing. I'm really seeing how I'm being led every step of the way. Even with this particular illness that I got, I don't know, one of the things God has really been working with me on recently is taking care of myself, because I wasn't really taught to do that, but especially if you're in this field of work, but any field of work really, it's so important that you fill your own cup first, and then give out of your abundance as much as possible. I realize as I'm saying that I'm not really giving out of my abundance right now because I am in a somewhat weakened state, but I don't know. I got the prompting, and I just feel like God wanted me to speak to you guys, so here I am. Um, I guess what I would ask also is if you're someone who prays, then I would love your prayers during this time for a speedy recovery. I've been feverish and just kind of weak, and um, that cyst was very painful. I'm on pain pills now, so I don't have to feel that pain, but very uncomfortable. So I know my family was praying for me during the procedure this morning, and I know it made a difference. Just helped me to remain calm because, like, they didn't put me to sleep. It was just like a local anesthetic. And I usually get really like squeamish with medical procedures. But this one, I just like, there was still some pain, even though I was numbed. Definite discomfort, you know. And sorry, my hand keeps on randomly shaking. Um, and I felt a little bit woozy, but not nearly as bad as I have when I was younger, where I would nearly pass out from things like this. So I do feel that the prayers of my family were bearing me up during that time, and so I would love to ask you all for your prayers as well as I continue to heal from this infection that I had or have right now, but am fighting. Um, so maybe that's why I was prompted. Who knows? I really didn't know like why I was being prompted to make a video, but maybe it was just so that I can ask for help for myself because I'm always so willing to help others, um, but I'm not always good about asking for help when I need it myself. And maybe there's other ones of you that experience that as well. So, uh, just, yeah. Oh, here's what's coming right now. So, one of the things that's come out is, especially if you've been through trauma and maybe been like emotionally abandoned or just been through a lot of stuff, there's this feeling of that was identified for me, and I really resonated with it, of hyper independence, where you learn that there's not a whole lot of people around you that you can actually trust. So you just learn to only count on yourself, which to some extent, there's something good about that as far as, you know, we can't depend on others to heal us or walk our healing journey for us. That's on us to do. But where that gets in the way sometimes is it is okay to ask others for help. And I know myself, I'm not always good about that. Life has kind of just taught me to power through everything. But that can be really exhausting. And we are a community, you know, like um, I'm being reminded of something my counselor said. I share a lot of stuff that he tells me here because it's been healing for me and I think it's healing for you. And he said, one of the ways that you can show love is by being open to receiving love. So, and that was something I had to work with because from the way that I grew up, I never wanted to be a burden. Mostly that was as a result of having two mentally ill siblings. So all the attention was going to them. And so I learned to just kind of take care of myself, you know, and I already knew there was so much on my parents' plate because of everything that they were dealing with that I didn't want to burden them. And so I would just keep my own issues and things I was dealing with to myself, you know. And that's something that I see that I've kind of carried into adulthood as well. But I know that if I want to have a healthy, open relationship with friends, family, and significant other, and other types of relationships, then I have to be willing to say, hey, I could really use some help right now, you know? Um, so that's something I'm being worked with on right now. And so, like I mentioned, it was a struggle uh, because in my mind it was like a negative thing to share what I was going through, or that I needed help with, because I'm like, oh, I don't want to burden somebody else. But those times when I've reached out and asked for help, people have actually reacted in a really good way, in that they're like, oh man, we knew that you needed some help or some support, but we just didn't even know how we could do that. And now you've given us an idea of what we can do. Yes, I'd love to help you, you know? So whether that's just prayers or thoughts, or like my brother coming and mowing my lawn, you know, whatever it is, then um, I saw that it was kind of the opposite of a burden. Like, these people that love you long to help you when you're struggling or you don't have very much um, energy. So, um, so I'm learning to do that, to kind of heal that feeling of hyper independence, and that feeling of, oh, you know, if I ask for help, I'm being a burden. But instead, I give love by receiving love. Like my counselor said, I show love by asking for help. I show love by receiving love from others. Um, and I think if I'm being prompted to speak to you guys about this, then there must be others that also maybe have had similar experiences or similar thoughts around that topic. So it is perfectly fine to ask for help. You know, like, that's why we get a tribe around ourselves, because it's this group of people that are there for you, that desire to be a help and build you up when you're a little bit weak or down. And we're all going to go through that. Male, female, it doesn't matter. That's coming through strong. That, like, I know I've kind of mentioned it, at least in one post, maybe more, about, especially for men, how society puts this pressure on them to always be the strong one. And that is actually incredibly unhealthy. There is something about, you know, the masculine side that needs to be needed and needs to be strong for the feminine and for their friends. But where it gets unhealthy is if the masculine is never allowed to be weak or to express emotions, or just, you know, sit in the space of grief or whatever it is that they're going through. And so many men are walking around with like broken hearts and unhealed trauma, because they don't, society has told them that, you know, you're not allowed to cry and you got to be tough, and you know. So I also hope that when I start a counseling business, I will have male clients as well as female. I know that obviously I'm female, you know, so I can't understand necessarily everything about what it's like to be a man, but I also know that all part of what my counseling will be is intuition, basically. And so even if me, Katie, doesn't have full knowledge, then God totally does. And so, and I've learned to trust that intuition 100%. And maybe, I don't know, maybe with men, it's like to release those emotions, they actually have to tap into the feminine side, and that's where I could help them. I don't know. I'm just kind of saying whatever comes through. I'm thinking about different things. Yeah, so my mind kind of just blanked out. I think it's because I'm on this medicine, so it's crazy. Like I have a very my mind is pretty sharp, and is always going and lots of deep thoughts. So if I have to take something that is slowing that down, it's like I really notice the difference, and it kind of almost like bugs me. I'm just like, nah. But it's worth it. Like without those pain pills, then I would be in a lot of pain. So I'm thankful for modern medicine, and yeah, and that hopefully within a week, or they didn't. I asked how many times I'd have to go back, and they're like, well, at least a few times, but it just kind of depends on how it's healing up and how it's draining, and yeah, so maybe in a week or so I'll be feeling better. We'll see what happens. Kind of cool to be that, since I work from home, like I'll have to talk to my boss about this, but I think I'll probably do like a modified schedule so I can still kind of rest, but I don't have to miss like full days of work because my computer is just right here, and I can, it's not too hard for me to be up for a little while. And of course, I'll do it when I'm clear headed. And if I don't feel up to that, then I can always just tell her, nope, sorry, I tried, but maybe it's better if I don't do accounting right now. Should be interesting. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe stick with the more simpler tasks for now. Yeah, so to reiterate what I said in the beginning, I would love your prayers during this time to kind of build up my strength and for quick recovery in my body, and that the antibiotics really do their job and get rid of the infection. Yeah, so I should be fine. It was one of those things where I needed to go to urgent care because something like that, with it growing so fast, it could have burst, and then that would have been bad as far as that getting into my bloodstream and stuff. So, but now that I'm on antibiotics and we've drained it and all that good stuff, then I should be just fine. So it's more just prayers for strength and speedy recovery. And yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it there. I still talked for quite a while, even though I'm like not like at full power. But yeah, I love you all. Thank you all for your support and your love. And I'll just leave it there for now. Maybe I'll be able to get a little sleep now. Okay, talk to y'all later. Bye.